DC News Now. A troubling trend.
It's also really sad that all this is happening.
A 13-year-old boy killed by the person he was allegedly trying to carjack. Plus beer shelves in a DC CVS, a new way to curb theft.
Temperatures are taking a major tumble this week. We'll let you know how long this colder air could stick around.
Also, Eagles top the Commanders.
If we can take that same fight and apply it next week when we play other teams, some great stuff that's going to come out of it.
How the Commanders plan to bounce back. And we're stretching your dollar with last-minute Halloween hacks.
You're watching the station covering all of the DMV. This is DC News Now.
Thanks for joining us for DC News Now at 5. I'm Annalisa Gale. Mark Hall is off today. Right now, DC police are searching for a second suspect in a deadly carjacking in the district over the weekend. Officers say 13-year-old Bernard Tony Jr. was shot and killed after he tried to carjack an off-duty federal officer in Penn Quarter on Saturday. Our Randy Bass is live at police headquarters now with more on this investigation and the troubling trend emerging in the district right now. Good evening, Randy.
Yeah, Annalisa, that carjacking happened just a few blocks away from police headquarters over on D Street Northwest. Police say when that shooting happened, the second teenage suspect took off, and right now they're still looking for that suspect. The shooter, police say, was carrying that gun legally and is now cooperating with authorities as they move forward in their investigation. This carjacking on Saturday night, one of 21 carjackings reported in the district in the last 7 days. There have been 827 carjackings so far this year, according to DC police data. Armed carjackings are up 74% this year. One trend officers are seeing: more and more kids finding themselves involved in these kinds of crimes. 63% of arrests for carjackings in DC this year have been juvenile. Some of those kids as young as 12 years old, along with more 13, 14, 15-year-olds who aren't even old enough to drive.
Guns, carjackings, 13-year-olds, recipe for tragedy. And that's what we have.
What's really troubling, I think, to all of us is how so many juveniles seem to get their hands on these weapons. And this incident certainly is an indication of what we're dealing with on a daily basis.
Yeah, you just heard from Mayor Bowser and Acting Police Chief Pamela Smith. They say there is still more information to be released in that investigation. They are looking more into that second suspect and who that second suspect may be. They're also reviewing any surveillance footage that may give them a better idea of what happened along D Street Saturday night. Anybody with any information is asked to get in touch with DC Police. Live in Northwest, I'm Randy Bass, DC News Now.
Randy, thank you. And developing now, the D.C. Council met today to discuss efforts to reduce violent crime in the city. City leaders provided an update on the programs that are working and those which are not, which was followed by testimony from district residents and representatives from the Office of Attorney General. The council chairman says the district can do more to crack down on crime. The city administrator there also echoing that message.
We need to commit ourselves to ongoing evaluations to help us improve and prioritize resource allocation among programs. And we need to be honest when a program is not working and reroute resources into programs that are seeing success. And as much as we are doing to make continuous improvements in our community prevention programs, we know that these programs alone cannot solve our increase in gun violence in the immediate term. We also need to make sure we have a strong accountability ecosystem, which has degraded in some ways over the past few years.
Council Chairman Phil Mendelson says the city should focus on case closures, more aggressive prosecution, and hiring more police officers along with other alternatives to improve security. Well, D.C. police are investigating a serious crash in Northwest Washington involving one of their own cruisers. Right now, we know at least 5 people have been hurt. It happened at the intersection of 14th and U Streets just before 1 o'clock. D.C. News Now's Daniel Hamburg has more from the scene.
Well, traffic is now back to normal a couple hours later here, but you can still see the remnants of this crash at 14th and U Streets. You can see the tire marks on the ground, some of the markings right there. The crash happened around 12:45 this afternoon. One man I talked with says witnesses told him the police officer ran a red light without sirens or lights and T-boned the van, though DC police did not comment on that when asked. Another witness says she saw the van flip on its side and hit two other cars, a black SUV and a gray car behind it. 5 people were taken to hospitals, including one man in serious condition and 2 women and a man with minor injuries. Police say an infant was in one of the vehicles but was treated on scene and is uninjured. All patients were conscious and breathing, and the other officer was also taken to the hospital for treatment. It's unclear where this officer was heading, allegedly without sirens or lights. We will try to get that information as soon as we can. In Northwest, Daniel Hamburg, DC News Now.
Daniel, thank you. And turning back outside live, look at the National Cathedral. We heard that wind in Daniel's live shot, and we can see it right there on the camera. Let's head over to meteorologist Damon Matson for the latest on what to expect for the rest of the evening.
I mean, that camera just paints the picture in a lot of ways. It's blustery, and it's definitely turning cloudy out there as this colder air starts to rush into the DMV. Folks, these temperatures on the map, they have been steadily falling for the last hour and a half to 2 hours. We were all the way up in the 70s in DC. It's fallen to 68. Waldorf, Fredericksburg, we're just in the 80s about an hour ago, and now it's down into the low 70s. And then we have those 50s. Very chilly air already has arrived in Martinsburg, Hagerstown, back toward Cumberland as well. And the temperature change map shows this perfectly. We are definitely trending in a much cooler direction as we go into the end of the day here today, and of course as we roll on into the rest of the week. Here's the cold front responsible. It's pretty much moving to our east already, but that colder air, some of the rain showers that we were expecting have been lagging behind the cold front, to say the least, and we're experiencing some of those light isolated showers out there right now. We'll see some of that rainfall continue here for the next few hours as these temperatures continue to tumble. By 11 o'clock, pretty much all of us are going to be in the 40s. That is a good 20 to 30 degrees cooler than we were earlier this afternoon. So folks, gear up. We're in for a cooler stretch of weather. The question is just how long is this chilly air going to stick around? We'll have a full look at your forecast coming up here in just a bit.
All right, Damon, thank you. Also new at 5 in the district, CVS continues to pull some products from its shelves as part of the ongoing effort to reduce shoplifting at some of its stores. The latest location is on 8th Street in Northeast Washington. It's also where we find DC News Now's Dave Laval. Dave, what is CVS doing there?
Well, good afternoon, Annalisa. You may recall earlier this month we told you how CVS store shelves have fewer items on them, ranging from frozen foods to baby products. But here at the 8th Street location, that list has grown. You can find some paper towels and toilet paper inside the CVS store along 8th Street Northeast. What's not there, you simply ask an employee to get it for you from the storeroom. It's the latest action by CVS to reduce shoplifting at its locations around the district.
It's terrible.
Valerie Bloom shops at CVS. She's aware of how fewer items remain on shelves, but the decision to keep more products away from customers surprised Bloom.
I mean, it's scary to see, and you have to ask for products, but what are you going to do? They're stealing them.
With the increased security to prevent retail theft comes a sense of understanding from customers.
The prices are crazy. I just looked at some of the prices. I mean, I'm able to afford them, but there is a lot of people who is not able to afford it.
I understand that it's a problem in the district, but I think we have to look at it as a countrywide problem. And I think it's maybe a deeper problem as far as the economy.
A corporate spokesperson for CVS told us in an email the company is working with DC Police and the DC Attorney General's office to break up several major shoplifting rings. Plus, it supports new efforts to combat retail theft. We're live along the 8th Street corridor. Dave Laval, DC News Now.
Dave, thank you. Well, new at 5 in Maryland, 9 children and a bus driver in the hospital after a crash involving a Caroline County public school bus. It happened before 8 a.m. this morning near Matthewstown Road in Talbot County. Police say a juvenile driving a Kia failed to stop at a stop sign and crashed into the side of the bus. The driver was also taken to the hospital. Right now, no charges have been announced. And community leaders have launched a new stabilization center to help residents with drug abuse in the district. Mayor Muriel Bowser was there to cut that ribbon this morning. The 6,000 square foot center will feature resources like peer counseling and long-term recovery options. Patients will receive a comprehensive medical evaluation and treatment plan. It will also offer 24 to 72 hours of emergency intervention care for residents 18 or older. The center's goal is to provide care for those battling substance abuse.
People who come to this center will get both types of care. They can recover in a safe environment. They will also be providing relief to hospital emergency rooms and emergency psychiatric centers.
Residents should text the word READY to 888-811 to find treatment centers near them and to pick up Narcan and fentanyl test strips. As always, DC News Now is your local election headquarters, and we're continuing our coverage of Virginia's statewide elections with a look at one of the closest Senate races in the Commonwealth. Democratic delegate Danica Rome faces off against Republican candidate and former police officer Bill Wolf. Our Haley Milon spoke with the candidates about what's at stake for voters in Manassas and Prince William County.
Delegate Danica Rome is touting her track record securing funding for free school meals and for infrastructure improvements in a tight race for Senate District 30 as Virginia Democrats look to cling to control of the chamber.
I'm ready to go on day one.
Rome says representing House District 13 for 6 years would translate to seniority in the state Senate. The Manassas native and former journalist prioritizing infrastructure fixes, namely to Route 28, for which she worked to secure lane expansion funding.
Better today than it was 6 years ago, and it will only continue getting better.
Part of her campaign tagline, Feeding Kids, points to her backing of legislation that brought free school breakfasts and lunches to kids in the Manassas area, something she's fighting for statewide.
We saw a reduction in childhood hunger, parents being able to save more money, and we saw a reduction in the administrative burden for the schools.
As Republicans eye Governor Glenn Youngkin's aspirational 15-week abortion ban, party leadership calling the restrictions reasonable, Rome says she fears Republicans would take it even further.
They would push the needle as far as they could.
Rome fundraised nearly $1.5 million compared to Wolf's $704,000, and the numbers speak to stronger community-level support for Rome, who brought in over 4,400 donations under $100. Wolf bringing in just 121 such donations. Tomorrow, we continue our coverage of the race for Senate District 30 as I talk to Republican candidate and former police officer Bill Wolf. From our Northern Virginia Bureau, I'm Haley Milon, DC News Now.